Okay. In this video, I'm going to be discussing, actually reacting to some comments that Jason Whitlock made, right? And the comments that Jason Whitlock made, he's talking about Michael Jordan not really stepping up and coming to LeBron James to try to help him, become a great NBA player, right? Now, I can't really say that I blame Michael Jordan for not stepping up to help LeBron James to become a great NBA basketball player. Um, to me, I'm gonna play the audio from Jason Whitlock's show, and I'm gonna react to it. And as a matter of fact, I just wouldn't expect that. Michael Jordan is not LeBron James' father. He's not responsible for the decisions and the choices that LeBron James make. And so it wouldn't have benefited. It absolutely would have worked to the detriment of Michael Jordan, right? So let me play what Jason Whitlock had to say on his show, because he's talking about Michael Jordan, not really helping LeBron James out, early in his career. And another thing I want to add, if you remember, Michael Jordan was not too keen really on trying to help Kobe Bryant out either, right? And I think Michael Jordan had a good explanation for that, a good reason not to help Kobe or LeBron, because Michael Jordan is a competitor. And so even though he wasn't playing basketball, once he retired from basketball, he didn't want to help those guys or take his place in the history or surpass him as far as the history of the game go. So it wouldn't have made sense for Michael Jordan to help LeBron James. But let me play what Jason Whitlock has to say about Michael Jordan and his relationship with LeBron James, and I'm gonna come back and give even more reasons why it wouldn't have made sense for Mike to help LeBron James out.
I want to start by reading what LeBron James said yesterday and why I'm calling him Big Simpin. Let me start there with Jay-Z as his GOAT and what he had to say about Michael Jordan and Jay-Z. I say Michael Jordan was my biggest inspiration as far as basketball, but I never got an opportunity to hang with him or talk to him or whatever. But Jay is like my big brother. He's the one who's given me so much game and has taught me so much. I'm always thinking about him anytime I'm doing something business-wise or making a decision or whatever, thinking like, is this going to make him proud? Because he gave me so much game as a 16-year-old kid.
All right, let me just stop it right there, right? All right, so LeBron James is saying that Jay-Z has given him so much game. Now, it for Jay-Z to help LeBron James out at an early age or mentor him at an early age like LeBron James is not a rapper, so he's therefore not a threat to Jay-Z, right? So, Jay-Z was very careful about who he collaborated with in his own business. So, that's why Jay-Z was able to help LeBron James out or give LeBron James some business pointers, right? So I understand that part of it. I don't get why he chose Jay-Z though, but I'll discuss that more at a later date.
And that's LeBron James talking about as a 16-year-old. He and his crew, or Maverick Card, these guys got to hang out with Jay-Z when LeBron was just 16 years old. And that's when Jay-Z sunk his hooks into LeBron James. That's when Jay-Z started establishing his influence. This is the role that Jay-Z plays in American culture, and particularly in Black American culture. He is the inspiration. He is the big influencer. He is the GOAT. But LeBron said something else that was very interesting there. He said that he never got a chance to meet, sit down, and talk with Michael Jordan. And you can blame that on LeBron James, or you could say, hey, does Michael Jordan play a role in this? Is it any part of Michael Jordan's responsibility to be a mentor to LeBron James? Because if you don't reach out, if you don't establish that relationship, you're leaving LeBron James to the wolves. And Michael Jordan, and even though he came up in a different era, but he knows basketball. And he should have recognized, in my view, at some point, maybe not when LeBron was 16, maybe not when LeBron was 18, maybe by the time LeBron is 22, 23, and he's clearly the biggest deal going on in the NBA and going on in basketball and in sports, at some point, I feel like Michael Jordan kind of owed it to LeBron to reach out, to establish a relationship, to try to be an influence on LeBron James. It's a strike against Michael Jordan, in my view, that he has not chosen to establish a relationship. I don't know the details of it. Hey, maybe Nike didn't want these guys as friends, as mentor, mentee. Maybe they wanted a rivalry. I don't know. But my initial reaction when LeBron James is talking about, when I think about anything that I'm doing, I want to make Jay-Z proud. That really struck me, and it really made me sad.
All right, let me say this, right. For just I'm going to give you an example of when the New England Patriots had Tom Brady and they had the other quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, right? And some people was like, Tom Brady should have, by Tom Brady being at the end of his career, he should mentor Jimmy Garoppolo and help Jimmy Garoppolo be the next quarterback to take the Patriots, into the next generation, right? But Tom Brady still believed that he still had some gas in the tank, right? So it would have worked against Tom Brady to help Jimmy Garoppolo, because now you're helping Jimmy Garoppolo to take your job, to replace you. Same thing with when the San Francisco 49ers had Joe Montana and Steve Young, right? Joe Montana did not take Steve Young under his wing because he saw Steve Young as a threat to him. Now, apply that same logic to Michael Jordan and LeBron James. Now, Michael Jordan out the league, right? The year before LeBron James get there. But for instance, if Michael Jordan take LeBron James under his wing and he helped LeBron James make all these decisions, career decisions, like, all right, don't leave Cleveland, stay there, work on your game. Every year you get better. Just mimic, you do everything that what Mike did, and Mike had made LeBron James a success, and LeBron James went on to win 6 or 7 rings because of the influence of Michael Jordan. Nike don't need Michael Jordan no more. You know what I mean? So now Michael Jordan is cutting himself out of the picture. You know what I mean? LeBron has eclipsed him, and it wouldn't have been nobody's fault but Michael Jordan. Like if LeBron had overtaken Michael Jordan in the stats, in the history of the game, the way he played the game, he made the fan. Michael Jordan say, "Well, do this, and the fans will love you." Like Michael Jordan could have guided him through all of that, but that would not have worked. That wouldn't have worked in Michael Jordan's on his behalf. So some of the decisions that LeBron James made and some of the things that he did worked in Michael Jordan's favor. It just solidified the fact that Nike still need him, the NBA still need him, and he has a role. You talking about like Michael Jordan's legacy. You're talking about generational wealth. So it worked. Like, it wasn't to Michael Jordan's benefit to have LeBron James have a better career and be more successful than Michael Jordan, and so that right there, that part of what Jason Whitlock is talking about is something that I don't I don't understand, and I can't see, like Jason Whitlock say he was a he was a football player, a former football player. And so just from a competitive standpoint, you're not going to get somebody some pointers on how on how to beat you. If you're running a race or anything you're doing, you're not going to train your competitors on how to beat you. And especially the game for Michael Jordan is not over with. He still make a lot of money with Nike. He's still, you know what I mean, and other endorsements, but they don't need Michael Jordan if LeBron James just overtakes his image and everything, right? And it's the same reason why Michael Jordan never helped out Kobe Bryant. Now the thing about that, the relationship between Kobe and Mike, he was so persistent. Like he was almost like, yeah, I'm gonna make you have a relationship with me because Kobe always called Mike, right? And Mike would, sometimes Mike might answer the phone or Mike just might give him a general basic answer. But Mike wasn't going to, he knew that Kobe already had within him, because his father was in the league. Kobe really didn't have to go to Michael Jordan. Kobe, he knew how to study basketball. He studied the greats in basketball: Michael Jordan, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, Larry Bird. I mean, anybody you can name, and people that you don't even think of. Kobe studied all of those people. So Mike, if anybody who made Mike nervous about, going past him, it was Kobe Bryant, because of the foundation and everything that Kobe came from. Kobe came from a two-parent household. He had a father who played in the league. Kobe was a lot of people say he was physically more gifted, athletic than Mike. He was taller than Mike, so Kobe had all the tools and everything and could have surpassed Mike, and he was like this close from passing Mike, right? The Kobe just couldn't get that kind of fan love that that Mike got. He did, but he got close. LeBron James didn't even get close. And so Mike really was never threatened. His legacy was never really threatened by Kobe Bryant. But it didn't work into it wouldn't have been wise for Mike to mentor and help LeBron James, because because it's more, basketball is more than just a game. It's about, there's another chapter after you retire, and Mike has that fan base, and Mike can always tap into that fan base, and Mike didn't want to share that fan base, rightfully so, with nobody else. He don't want to get the keys to, nobody else, because now you're talking about that generational wealth, right? And so all that generational wealth would have transferred from Michael Jordan kids to LeBron James kids, right? And so yeah, that to me, it just wouldn't have made sense, for Michael Jordan to help him out. You never seen, like I said, Joe Montana didn't do it with Steve Young. Um, so you got to find your own way. Joe ain't do it with Steve Young. Tom Brady didn't do it with Jimmy Garoppolo, or anybody else. And that's just because immediately, that these guys are there to take your job, and and these guys are just so competitive that you're gonna wait your turn. Either you're gonna take it, but I'm not gonna give it to you. And so I couldn't understand how Jason Whitlock was trying to blame Mike for the decisions that LeBron, made throughout his career. And LeBron, yeah, Mike could have given him. Now, if that was his son, then Mike, and that's you can kind of see like a father passing on that type of guidance to a son. You'll see that, or that would be more reasonable, right? But other than that, yeah, I can't see Mike being in a position where he would pass that type of guidance on to LeBron James. And LeBron James, would have took that, ran with it, and Mike would have been done for. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, man, I'm gonna check y'all out in the next video. Peace.